is clicking as well. Today I would like to answer some Q&A questions that I didn't get to finish, that you all very kindly sent me. And I would also really like to read you some poems as well. But first, the questions. Okay. Someone asked me what were my favourite subjects at school. I really loved drama, English and art. Do you have any tattoos? I don't have any tattoos. I am unadorned. What kind of music are you into? I've already said that my favourite genre is jazz at the moment. What's the worst injury I've ever had? I actually fractured a finger once and couldn't play guitar for a while, and my finger still hurts sometimes. Do I play any sports or like any specific teams? I don't currently play any sports. I did used to run at school, and I did district sports, and I've also done a bit of running on and off for the past few years. I do really like watching some sports like wrestling and women's football. I also really enjoy it when guys headbutt the ball into the net in football. It just seems really jammy. What is your star sign, and do you believe in horoscopes? I'm a Taurus. My birthday is on the 30th of April. I really like the description of my sign. It's an earth sign, and it's strong-willed, loyal and grounded, who know what they want. I believe in those aspects of my personality. I don't really want to speculate on the unknown things, such as, does when you were born dictate your personality and your experiences? I think in the timeline of the earth and socially, when we're born, these things do dictate our personality. So of course they do. But is it mystical, and is it to do with the alignments of the planets? There's some evidence that the moon has an effect on us, as it affects the tides. But on the whole, I'm not qualified to answer that question, and I know that, so I'm kind of Switzerland, kind of just sitting in the middle, not sure. Someone asked me, what's the naughtiest thing I've ever done? I don't think I'm a naughty person, but if I was naughty, you can bet I wouldn't tell anyone about it on the internet. I had some singing related questions. Someone asked me, can you teach vibrato, or is it natural? I think a lot of singers do have a natural vibrato, and the healthier and more relaxed a person's voice is, and then the healthier and sort of wider the vibrato. So it's a yes and a yes. It is natural, and you can teach someone how to open their voice and relax into a vibrato. I personally find it a little bit like belting. It should be very low effort singing, more technique wise. Another question I had was about when I used to busk on the high street. I used to busk on the high streets in Kent, in Ashford, Canterbury, and also Folkestone a couple of times. Canterbury and Ashford were the most lucrative. And yeah, I think when you are out in the world like that, you're kind of vulnerable because you're putting yourself out there face to face with people, not behind a camera, but really out there. And other vulnerable people, maybe homeless people, they find their way to you, and that is quite an eye-opening and moving experience sometimes. I think busking helped me overcome my stage fright a lot. I think I used to shake. I always knew what I wanted to do, and I had so much to put out, but I didn't exactly know, how to do it without feeling like the attention was all on me and I was the main event. And really, busking helped me to get out of the way of myself and really realise that I'm not the main event. I am the vessel for the experiences I can give. So that really eases off any sort of paranoia or nervousness that you could have being a performer on the street. A lot of experiences on the high street. On a typical day, I'll talk you through a typical day. I would get up in the morning. I would make scrambled eggs on toast. I would have ketchup and butter, and I'd have a cup of tea, maybe 2 cups of tea, and then I'd get on the train and I'd arrive in either, well, let's say Canterbury. Let's do a Canterbury typical day. I would get on a train and I would arrive in Canterbury sometimes about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So there's a lot of people about. People are getting to their jobs. And yeah, it's really nice to be up at that time, because as a late night jazz singer, sometimes I really don't get up in the morning. I'm sort of getting out of bed at like midday, but that's really fun, being somewhere first thing in the morning. And there's this sort of energy at that time in the morning that is so different to the nighttime energy. And I'm just rambling on, but what can you do? Yeah, and I would say I would find a really good spot. I really used to love outside, I think it's Lloyd's Bank, or it's Lloyd's Corner, yeah, opposite Pret. And I'd get another cup of tea, because I drink a lot of tea. I'm very British in that sense. I like a cup of tea. I would get a cup of tea and I would set up and I would start busking, and I would play songs like Under My Skin by Frank Sinatra. I played a lot of my original songs. A classic that I would play every day would be Muscle Memory, which is a term musicians use for when you just kind of become one with your instrument and you don't even have to think about it anymore. It's just all muscle memory. You and the instrument, that's how I see it anyway, become one. But muscle memory in this song was about a relationship situation. Yeah, and I do Muscle Memory, I do Under My Skin, Frank Sinatra, I do Stormy Weather, Billie Holiday, I do Summertime, Love a Man, All of Me. Pop songs, I used to busk. Emily King, Distance, for the Emily King fans out there. Great American singer-songwriter from New York. I would sing Sweet Love by Anita Baker. There are loads and loads of songs. I'd just decide the night before, I want to learn a new song, and then I'd be on this high street the next day playing it. And sometimes, to get your practice in, because lots of people are walking past, it's kind of okay if you're learning something to play that same song. You could play that 4-5 times in one day on the high street, because the same people are not going to hear it. So it's excellent practice, excellent discipline, and at the same time you'd be earning tips, you'd be giving out cards, you'd be potentially getting gigs, private parties, and yeah, it was really, really good fun. I would recommend to anyone to go busking. It was fantastic. I actually met one of my really good friends busking on the high street as well, Sam Brothers. He's a folk artist, and yeah, he is a really excellent folk singer, gorgeous, blonde hair, and yeah, he just sings like an angel, plays the harmonica, plays the blues. He's just been on tour in Japan, so he's doing really, really well for himself. Yeah, the streets are a really good way to meet people and make friends. Another friend that we made was Callum, and his partner Meg. There were some really good buskers who's sadly not with us anymore as well, so yeah, things do change. The people in Canterbury, it's an ever-changing kind of place. It's a very nostalgic place for me, filled with very, very happy memories and difficult memories and coming of age memories, and times when I was really cutting my teeth learning jazz repertoire and playing with people who were much, much better than me. I mean, some of these people, I still play with some of them now. Yeah, just really fantastic talents. I think the music scene was insanely good in the Canterbury scene between 2010 and 2020, and I think those are the 10 golden years. Obviously 2020, it all kind of got ripped away, But yeah, I'd like to think that I had a hand helping those golden years with running jazz jams and putting on gigs, and I feel a deep sense of pride that I was involved in that time. It just makes me feel really, really good thinking about it. Hello everybody. I'm interrupting this Q&A broadcast to bring you some poetry. I've got a few poems lined up, some funny ones about animals. This poem is called The Pig. It was an evening in November, as I very well remember. I was strolling down the street in drunken pride, but my knees were all aflutter, and I landed in the gutter, and a pig came up and lay down by my side. Yes, I lay there in the gutter, thinking thoughts I could not utter, when a colleen passing by did softly say, "You can tell a man who boozes by the company he chooses." And the pig got up and slowly walked away. This one is by Gelett Burgess, who lived between 1866 and 1951. The Purple Cow. I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. But I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one. Nice short poem. The Owl and the Pussycat by Lear. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. "Oh, lovely pussy, oh pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are, you are. What a beautiful pussy you are." Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried, but what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows, and there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. "Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring?" said the piggy. "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. This one is by William Shakespeare, and it's called My Mistress's Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are done. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground, and yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. These poems are from an anthology which is called The Nation's Favourite Comic Poems, edited by Griff Rhys-Jones. Love the name Griff. Okay, and now some from my favourite. This is the best of Dorothy Parker. Okay. Braggart. The days will rally, wreathing their crazy tarantelle, and you must go on breathing, but I'll be safe in hell. Like January weather, the ears will bite and smart, and pull your bones together to wrap your chattering heart. The pretty stuff you're made of will crack and crease and dry. The thing you are afraid of will look from every eye. You will go faltering after the bright, imperious line, and split your throat on laughter, and burn your eyes with brine. You will be frail and musty, with peering furtive head, whilst I am young and lusty among the roaring dead. This is currently my favourite bookmark. says tweeting. It's a good little bookmark. Okay. For a favourite granddaughter. Never love a simple lad. Guard against a wise. Shun a timid youth and sad. Hide from haunted eyes. Never hold your heart in pain for an evil doer. Never flip it down the lane to a gifted wooer. Never love a loving son, nor a sheep astray. Gather up your skirts and run from a tender way. Never give a tear, never toss and pine. Should you heed my words, my dear, you're no blood of mine. This is a short one. Sanctuary. My land is bare of chattering folk. The clouds are low along the ridges, and sweets the air with curly smoke from all my burning bridges. Some nice pictures in this book. Some lovely illustrations. bust of Dorothy Parker. Okay, a few more questions. Okay, so do I have any big plans for the rest of 2024? I feel very inspired creatively, and I really want to reveal more of myself with my music and my poetry, and for me, that's my biggest plan for the remainder of this year. I have been booking a UK and Scotland tour for next year, starting in April, so I'll be on the road with my band, and I'm very excited about that. We have a date booked in Brighton at the Verdict. That'll be my first time visiting that jazz club. Very excited about that, and I have also a date booked at the Ramsgate Music Hall at the end of April, just right close to my birthday. So I'm hoping to have a really nice show with my whole band and have maybe a glass of wine as well, or two. We'll see. What are my favourite movies? Okay, since I was very young, my mum showed me this movie called Withnail and I, which is a British cult classic that follows two failing actors, one of whom is played by Richard E. Grant and Paul Gann, I think his name is. And yeah, it's they live in London, they drink too much, they smoke too much, their agent's terrible, they can't get any work, and they famously go on holiday by mistake. That's a direct quote, by the way. There's also, my thumbs have gone weird. That's a direct quote as well. And when they're on holiday, the uncle comes back and says, Monty, you terrible beep. Yeah, they drink too much wine. And yeah, it's sad but poetic, and it has the classic dark British wit that seems to get us Brits through really tough times, laughing at ourselves and the futility of everything, gives us meaning, and yeah, the keep calm, carry on sort of thing. But it's about friendship and respect and how to move forward in life and do what you need to do for yourself. So it's also about self-love and tolerance and how much you should tolerate. There's a lot to be learned from that film. I mean, it's really classic. In fact, one of my best friends took me to the cinema to see it at the Curzon. This friend is a filmmaker and he lives in Paris now, but he took me to the Curzon when they were screening classic movies, and it was so much fun. I mean, I've seen this film maybe 20-30 times, and yet in the cinema it was so big. All the physical things that you see, they're small on the small screen, but on the big screen, they're there, they're ready. They seem like they're just happening for the first time again. And I would say, I haven't ever really been to see a film that I'd seen before on the big screen, and I would do it again, because it brought out things in the movie that I had kind of forgotten were there, and that I think when you do see it in the movie, you do find it a lot funnier. That's the bottom line. Things, when they're so much more in your face, if they're funny, I think it really worked for that movie. It was brilliant. Okay. Another one of my favourite movies is Bridesmaids. I really love the main character, Annie Walker. I want to be her. Kristen Wiig is a genius, and the cast is all-star. Absolutely hilarious. It sounds like a chick flick, but it's not. It's just so funny, but it does have that setting of someone's going to get married, the main character's best friend, and everything that could go wrong goes wrong, but not in the sense that you'd think it in, someone new comes into the circle and messes around with things, and there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of adult themes. It's a good movie. I'd recommend that. The Ghosts. I've a haunted heart that fell in love with the beautiful ghosts of my past. I hold them dear and praise them all, and beg the mirage to last. I'm in profound gratitude of us and what used to be, with adoration and exaltation. I keep them alive in me. The ghosts of youth, the ghosts of friends, the ghosts of a love that never ends. My beautiful ghosts keep haunting me, and although my heart is sore, when I feel lost, I turn out the light, and there you are once more. I thought I'd get my favourite fan out again. Also my favourite